You've been walking on eggshells for a while now, but it doesn't seem to matter to your narcissist. He or she is no longer even polite to you, much less kind. You often wonder, what happened to that person that you met? Nothing you do, say, think, or feel is acceptable. And the narcissist? Make sure you know it. Everything that you do elicits the same response: anger, irritation, justified rage, or maybe just nothing, indifference. If you call them on their bullshit or you prove them wrong, watch out. That's when they'll go ballistic and dig deep to hurt you. This, my friend, is the devalue phase. That's what we're talking about today at queenbeing.com. Let's get started. My name's Angie Atkinson, and on this channel I offer free daily video coaching to help you discover, understand, and overcome narcissistic abuse in toxic relationships. I like to call it toxic relationship rehab. Does that sound good to you? If so, hit that subscribe button and let's get going. Being in a relationship with a narcissist is a whole lot like being on a roller coaster. Sometimes you feel absolutely cherished and loved and adored. Other times you kind of wish you were not there, or you feel like you're no better than the dirt on the bottom of somebody's shoe. Sound familiar? You get devalued, you get discarded, you get abused. Once you get past the fun part, where you're actually being treated with love and respect, you hit the good old devalue phase. That is the worst part, and that is exactly what makes a narcissist probably one of the most difficult ones to deal with, because going through the discard phase feels a whole lot like having your soul ripped out and your heart ripped out and having them twisted all together and stomped on and pushed down into a little pulp. Yeah, I know that sounds dramatic, but if you've been there, you know that that is actually under dramatic for the circumstances, right? Unfortunately, you can never tell what kind of mood a narcissist will be in, and even though you learn to sort of read them and understand what's coming next, every now and then they'll still shock you. Sometimes when you've been with narcissists for 100 years or so, they'll shock you. It's shocking. Can I say shocking again? Anyway, my experience has been that narcissists in the discard phase, in the devalue phase, are the worst ones. Today we're digging into that discard part. One of the first things I think that we have to recognize is that when we're going through the part where we have to try to figure out exactly how we went from being adored and loved and cherished to being treated like dog crap, it's confusing because it happens so fast. One day everything's fine, and before we know it, we can't even breathe. But if you take the time to understand the devalue phase and how it works and what actually happens, then you'll understand what you've been through, why it happened, and that it really isn't your fault. So essentially, the devalue phase will begin right about the time the narcissist feels like they've really got their hands on you, like they really win. They know that they've got you in their clutches, as it were, and that's when they'll start to devalue you. You've got to know that narcissists generally don't see you as anything other than a supply or an extension of themselves. They don't see you as a whole person. As we've previously discussed, the narcissist generally has 3 phases in a relationship, and this is true in just about every relationship they have in varying iterations. The first one, as you probably remember, is the idealization phase or the love bombing phase, and that's when you're held up on that pedestal and treated like you're worth something. And then we head over to the devalue, and often it keeps on cycling through. So today we're going to start to dig into the devalue phase, like I said, and we're going to discuss specific emotions that are involved with that and the kinds of behavior that you can expect, and the part of the cycle that I believe is the most painful, the devalue and the discard. All right, but we're going to focus primarily on devalue. Back to what we were discussing at the very beginning of this video. While you're walking on eggshells, you often find yourself feeling like you're worthless, right? The narcissist will insult you. The narcissist will pick at your most painful psychological wounds. Anything they know for sure that will hurt you is fair game. There's nothing off limits. And anything that upsets the narcissist or hurts the narcissist, they'll make sure that it's your fault and that you know it for sure, in no uncertain terms. They'll tell you that you deserve the treatment they're dishing out and make sure that you feel that right down to your bones. They'll make it clear that you're not important, you're not worth their time. They'll say they don't respect you right to your face sometimes. They'll minimize you as often as possible. And anything that really matters to you is clearly a waste of energy and time, according to them. Meanwhile, you're over here teetering on a precipice, somewhere between emotional numbness and deep down anger, and then there's hope somewhere in that little triangle. You hope that this soul-crushing phase will end soon. But every time you get your hopes up for more than a minute, you're quickly brought back to reality when the narcissist next spits venom your way, uses you for an emotional dumpster once again. Sure, you learn to stop being directly affected. Sure you do. You gray rock, you learn all the things. You find a place to go in your head maybe. You literally zone out when the narcissist starts raging on you. Of course, if the threats and the fear tactics don't work, the narcissist might shift into victimhood. That's when they stop being actively aggressive and start going for the passive aggressive stuff. Always so much fun, right? This could involve gaslighting and a whole bunch of other sneaky forms of manipulation. That often leads to the silent treatment, one of a narcissist's go-to tools. They'll ignore you, they'll withhold affection, they'll call you crazy for trying to fix it. In the end, the narcissist might leave you, temporarily or permanently, or the cycle might begin again. Many narcissists go back to the courtship phase following the discard phase. You, my friend, you're left reeling. Now, the first several times you experience this, you're going to come out of the cycle feeling like you were the one who was wrong. Maybe you were expecting too much or overreacting or somehow otherwise incorrect in the way that you dealt with the situation, according to what you think. Maybe the narcissist did have a point. And then that's when you've got a choice to make, my friend. Do you stick it out or not? In your head, you know that a narcissist can change his or her ways just about as easily as a zebra can change his or her stripes, right? Highly unlikely. But your heart, my friend, your heart might be arguing with you here because your heart finds something deep within the narcissist that is lovable. A client of mine said on the phone the other day, you got the heart side and you got the smart side. And I really think that's what it's all about, the hard side and the smart side when it comes to things like that. But the most important thing to remember here is that you have the right to be happy. You truly do. And if your narcissist is not going to allow you to do that, or if the narcissist negatively affects you or your ability to find your bliss, you need to decide if you can live with this forever, my friend. And then comes the hard part. You have to take action. So do you recognize yourself here in this situation? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. So why do narcissists need you to feel bad about yourself? Why do narcissists devalue you? Because they're insecure. Narcissists need you to feel bad about yourself so you won't leave them. Narcissists need you to feel bad about yourself so that you think no one else could possibly love you. In fact, quite often, they will directly say that to you. Narcissists might appear to have high self-esteem, but the truth is their egos are quite fragile and very dependent upon whether or not you or someone else thinks that they are thebomb.com. All right. Narcissists walk around. I've talked about this before. Imagine their ego is a tiny fragile china egg and they carry it on the end of their finger. Okay. They walk around with the egg and they balance it. And as long as everybody's looking at the egg and the egg is all shiny, it's good. But if that little egg gets a crack in it, forget about it. All bets are off. Suddenly the narcissist's ugly side comes out. And unfortunately, that often happens to the primary source of supply more than anyone else. So that's why narcissists devalue you, because they have low self-esteem. They believe that you'll stick around if they devalue you, if they keep you down emotionally, if they make you think you're not worth anything, then they think that you won't be able to think you can get someone else, and so you won't even try. You'll just stay with them out of desperation because that's how they would roll if they were you. And now it's time for the question of the day. So tell me what you think. Have you been through the discard? Have you been through the devalue? Have you experienced a narcissist devaluing you personally? And how did that feel to you? Do you recognize yourself or your narcissist in any of the stuff that I described today? Share your thoughts and your ideas and your experiences in the comments below, and let's have a discussion about it, all right? That's all I've got for you right now. Thanks so much for being a part of my day and a part of my life, and hey, thanks for letting me be a part of yours. It really does mean a lot to me. I'll see you soon. It's my mission to teach others what I know to be true. You really can create the life you want. Take care of your body, take care of your soul, nurture the real you, and introduce him or her to the world. Be comfortable in your own skin and in your place in this world. Take your spot, take it now, and the universe will take its cue from you. You feel me? If so, subscribe to my channel. Let's get it done together.